Hello everybody, how are you guys? It's time for another Lyrics Explained, where I break down the lyrics of your favorite music so you can enjoy it even more. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest selling artists in the world right now, riding the crest of an incredible popularity wave that is K-pop. And who am I talking about? That's right, BTS. We're going to look at all of the tracks on the album Map of the Soul 7. So let's get right into it. If you're not familiar with BTS, why are you not familiar with BTS? When I was in Los Angeles the last few years, when they would come to town, they would sell out the Staples Center where the Lakers play more nights than any other artist. And I'm talking about the biggest names in pop that you can think of. BTS would outsell them. And I'm sure that was duplicated around the world. Guys, I can't tell you how big they are. So this is a monumental Lyrics Explained. This is an important one. Let's get into it. So the first track, we're talking about 20 tracks on this album. And the first one is Intro Persona. So it's so interesting because in K-pop, you have so many top artists like Blackpink, an artist like that. K-pop is so hot. And yet the very first track on this album is Intro Persona. Persona, talking about an individual. I guess the band itself has a persona, but that's different. In this case, we're talking about individual personas, and it could be, because it is the map of the soul, my belief, and just leaning on my 4 years of experience at the graduate program of lyric appreciation at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, I believe that what they're talking about is they're looking for, as an artist in a group of that success level, it gets to a point where each person is looking for their own happiness. What am I as an individual? And by association, each member of the audience is going through the same thing. Maybe you're in a family, maybe you're in a company, maybe you're on a team, and you benefit from that group experience. But what are you? It's an exploration that each of us goes through to find out, what are we bringing to the table? And more importantly, what do we want in life? It's a great track. Guys, number 2 is Boy with Love. This tells the story of one of the members who had a young puppy named Love. And he brought him back from the pound, a rescue. And I don't know if there's any puppy alive that doesn't pull on the heartstrings of every owner. Now it's older, when they're older and they're not so cute and they eat the couch, well, now we have a new problem. So this tells the story of the transition of the cute puppy to the loved adult. So even if they ate the couch, and in the case of BTS, they probably have 7 couches in each of their homes. 7. And so you might have come home, maybe they came home, and the puppy, who now is older, ate all 7. How would you feel if you had 7 couches and your puppy, who's now an adult, eats 7 couches, every couch in your house? Well, in this case, it's a happy ending because they just replaced the couches and they went on tour and they brought the dog with them. No more couch eating. An unbelievable track, guys. The third track on the album is Make It Right. Make It Right. There's always that one friend in every group. They're like, hey, I'm gonna cook some shish kebab with rice pilaf. You guys are gonna love it. And you're like, oh, great, somebody's gonna cook. Oh, fantastic. They're on the road, they're in the hotel. Let's get some fresh food. This member of the band is stepping up and is offering free services so we can just get on the Xbox and play video games while he cooks. Well, turns out they're not as good a cook as they claimed, and The next time they offer, the band members are like, hey, we want to support you, but you got to make it right. You can't give us shish kebab that's burnt. You can't give us rice that tastes like you're eating grains of sand. It's just not good for our singing career, and that's what that song's all about. You know, the next is a really interesting title, number 4, Jamais Vu, which on the direct translation means forget you. And what are they trying to communicate in this song? Well, if you look at the lyrics closely, we've all been through it, guys. Heartbreak and relationships end. It's the ebb and flow of life. But it's so hard. Sometimes somebody has that pull on us that's so strong. And what they're trying to share with you is that you should forget the person. Just somehow get it through your thick skull that they are not coming back. I mean, if you check their Instagram, they have clearly moved on with somebody new. And it's just your own mental hang-ups that's keeping you from finding somebody new. So, jamais vu, forget you. They're saying, get your head right. Get your head in the game, boy. Okay? Forget her, or vice versa. A girl, forget him. Or whoever, forget whoever. I mean, sometimes you just gotta face reality, guys, and that's what they're singing about so well on that track. So, number 5 on the BTS track list, Dionysus. What a powerful song, because it has a warning for all of us. Now, if you're not familiar with Dionysus, was a famous Greek character in the Greek myth pantheon. And this dude, despite warnings, flew too close to the sun. He had wings for arms and flew around. He had his own messenger service, was able to put together a living by delivering packages, which he held between his knees as they flew around the sky. And he wanted to go even higher, but you know, sometimes you got to listen to your advisors, and they're saying, dude, you fly too close to the sun, your wings are gonna melt because they were held together with wax, and you're gonna crash into the sea. He's like, dude, I'm Dionysus. I'm the guy that started the first single-man winged air package carrier service, delivering to many of the Greek islands. And they're like, all right, whatever. Well, what happened? He didn't listen to it. He crashed into the sea. He had to swim 8 miles back to shore with the wings that were waterlogged the whole time. Number 6 on the BTS album track list, Map of the Soul, number 6. And let's talk about it, because this is a really interesting song, Interlude, Shadow. Because if you're familiar with any of the old radio dramas, you'll be familiar with one called The Shadow. And in the old radio shows of the 30s and 40s, The Shadow was this crazy character. And he'd come on the radio and he'd say, the Shadow knows. And everybody in America was sitting at home thinking, what does he know? Why doesn't he share his knowledge, his information, his power, his point of view on life? Why is he being so mysterious about this? And so that is what they're asking in this song, Shadow Interlude. What does the Shadow know? And why didn't he ever share it with America and countries beyond? So they explore the history of this iconic radio drama character, and they put it to song. Guys, not everybody can do that. That's a talent that is only shared by a few. Number 7, Black Swan is the next song. What do you think of when you think of a black swan in terms of economic activity? That's right. A black swan is when so many people believe in a stock that it gets bumped up, not on its own volition, not on its own value, but on the panicked activity of a group of investors who really don't know what they're doing. And it's boosting the stock because they think it's almost like gambler high. Gamblers are in it to make money, of course, but they're really in it for the high of gambling. So in this song, they're warning you, buy stocks on their own value, not to get some kind of rush in your head. And I get it. You like the action. You like the action of buying stocks. But do the homework. Get on Yahoo Finance. Get on these sites and research. That's what they're trying to warn you about there, guys. Another great song. Number 8 is Filter. Now, we all have had grandparents, and more than likely one or two of them like to smoke cigarettes, because, guys, in the old days, smoking wasn't that looked down upon as it is now. Smoking wasn't looked down upon as it is now in the old days. And it's very likely that one of those grandparents liked to smoke filterless Pall Malls. Filterless Pall Malls. I remember my grandfather smoking those filterless Pall Malls, and we'd throw him in the car and take him to the store to get his medicine. And he breaks out a filterless Pall Mall in the middle of a Midwest summer, 980 degrees. No air conditioning in those days. It wasn't invented until 1997 for the car. And now he's smoking in the car. And I say, I'm going to roll down the window, Grandpa. And he's like, don't roll down the window. It's cold. Cold. I'm sorry, sir, but the humidity level is 175%. What are you thinking? But listen, we got to respect our elders. They fought the fight. They made it to the age they did. They helped us along the way. So you sat in the car as that old Buick filled with smoke. And that's what they're communicating in this great song. Guys, it's so beautiful out here. You got birds in the trees. See them right there. Downtown Columbus, Ohio. Beautiful, beautiful. We might just have to hang out here because it's nice and quiet. So that's what that song, number 8, Filter, is talking about. Number 9 on the track list, My Time. It's kind of interesting in a band as successful as BTS. You're a group, you're a unit, you're a team. But every member knows that at a certain point they're going to be called upon to do a solo. And the best solo singers that come to the forefront of the group and take the stage to the screams of young women and fans around the world, the best ones take ownership. What do I mean by that? What I mean is they say to themselves, this is my time. Yes, I'm a member of BTS, but right now, at this moment, when I move to the forefront and they're backup singers for this song, for this time, it's my time. And by doing that, they're bringing out their most assertive self. They're bringing out their most authentic self. And by doing so, offer the best of themselves to the audience. And so that's what you have to do in your life, guys. Sometimes you need to say, hey, listen, bro. Listen, sis. Listen, mom. Listen, dad. Listen, gramps. Listen, granny. This is my time. Okay? All right, let's move on. We got it. All right, we're on a roll here, guys. Number 10, Louder Than Bombs. Sometimes we get a drink of water or tea or coffee, whatever it is, and it goes down the wrong pipe, and sometimes you gotta let out a little burp. This song talks about when it's a loud belch. Okay, and maybe it was involuntary. Maybe you're a polite person most of the time, but sometimes you let out a burp that can be heard for 17 city blocks. Well, you've just upset your family, your friends, the neighbors, because your belches, your burps are louder than bombs. Get that under control. That's what they're saying. Get it under control. You're part of a society. Act like it. Okay. Number 11, on. That's it. On. What does it mean? Is it cryptic? Is it a code? Maybe it's some kind of code. What do they mean? On. It's only 2 letters. Maybe the title of this song is the first in a link that fans are supposed to follow on an international treasure hunt that will lead to the unearthing of a treasure chest, possibly buried beneath the sea just off the shore of a major industrial country in a large population center. And in that chest are millions of dollars in cash, in plata, meaning silver, and in bearer bonds and other valuables. Perhaps even the entire BTS catalog inside the treasure chest, possibly the most valuable of all of those valuables. Now, I usually charge lots of money for these ideas, but BTS, a worldwide treasure hunt to get your whole catalog, you can have that idea for free, and that's what they're talking about. Possibly, I don't know. I'm not saying I have inside information, although I do. All right. Number 12 on the track list for BTS is Ugh. You ever get that feeling? You're just like, ugh. Your mom and dad, when you're a kid, they're like, hey, did you clean up your room? And you're like, did you pick up after the dog? Did you take him for a walk? Yeah. You know, it's just that feeling that we have to do chores. And later in life, when you don't have your parents on your butt to do the chores, you have to motivate yourself. You got to do taxes. Oh, man. Right? So the song is talking about taking personal responsibility so that all of those chores are done, so now you can go out and party and enjoy your life. Number 13, 0 O'Clock. What a great song, man. This is an upbeat song, a powerful song. It's got the backing of this entire horn section of 250 horn players. It's got these rhythmic drums. Bum, ba, 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 bum, ba, 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 bum. 0 O'Clock, right? And it's just a really powerful, they've opened so many shows with it and closed a few too. And it talks about 0 O'Clock. The clock has moved down. The time has run out, and it is go time. You can prepare all you want. You can study all you want, and you should. You can strategize all you want, but at a certain point, it's go time. It's action time. It's time to get on the ice and start shooting pucks at the goalie. It's time to get on the field and start running for touchdowns. It's time to get on the stage if you're an international star like BTS and wow the crowd like never before. It's 0 O'Clock. Number 14 on the track list is more introspective. It's a slower song. It's Inner Child. And don't we all have an inner child really inside of us that never really grew up? Not in a bad way, in a good way. Because you're a kid, you're having fun, you're playing blocks, you're playing make-believe, right? You're doing all these great games and having fun with your friends and hitting each other over the head with Hot Wheel strips and bags of marbles, injuring each other, crying to your mom, and it's great fun. Well, what happened to that inner child? Well, the outer child had to grow up. The outer child had to start taking tests and adhere to the norms of a society, which, let's be honest, is a certain necessity of that. Because, what, you're going to be a child forever? You're going to be a 37-year-old baby trying to get back to your parents? Trying to get back on your parents because they never made you take any responsibility? So now your selfish ways you foist upon society by stomping around in some sort of selfish, immature fit because you don't want to wear a mask, for example. You don't want to participate in the greater good. You don't want to participate in the greater good of society by, for example, wearing a mask during an international pandemic. Well, that's what this song is challenging you, is to find that inner child. And while you want to be respectful and responsible in your outer child, you got to let that inner child out and play. So have fun, guys. Be silly. Make funny faces at each other. Do them in the mirror. If you're at home alone, make funny faces in the mirror. Make a TikTok video out of your funny faces. Okay, you probably shoot to the top. You'll have 40 million views by the end of the week. Just do it, guys. Come on, man. Number 15 on the track list, guys, is friends. And really, when you think about it, what is the most important thing in life? It's a group of friends. Certainly family, faith, and French fries. I mean, for me, it would be faith, family, French fries, then friends. And you say, well, the song is talking about the importance of friends. And you're explaining the lyrics, you're saying to me, you're the expert. I mean, you went to school to learn this, but in your own personal life, you're putting French fries above friends? And guys, I'm not talking about your basic cold fries that they throw in the bag like they're doing you a favor at the drive-thru of your general fast food restaurant. Laughing at you once you drive away because they know they gave you the dregs at the bottom. They could have made a fresh French fry basket, but no, they saw you coming and they threw them in the bag and they're laughing at you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real potatoes, fresh, not frozen, not covered in salt, and they allow you to determine the level of doneness. Do you like them well done? Do you like them burnt? They'll take care of it. That's the kind of fries I'm talking about. And guys, when you get a order of French fries that is so good, so spectacular, that hits the right notes for your personal palate, you're going to rate them above every friend you have. Because at the end, your friends are going to desert you, but your French fries are going to save you. And that's what this song is all about. Number 16 on the track list, guys, is Moon. And this really speaks to the fun that is BTS. Because you get kind of bored. I mean, they're living the life of rock stars, for sure. Fans around the world performing multiple nights, like I said, at Staples Center in Los Angeles, as an example. But it starts to wear you down. I've talked to rock stars since I was 17 years old. I was interviewing them for the newspaper. And the one thing they tell me is, this life wears you down. So this song talks about a specific episode that is an example of how they release the stress. And they were on the tour bus. They were leaving New York City back to the airport to go to Korea to head home after a successful American leg of their latest tour. And two of the members said, you know what we should do? we should moon the passersby as and so they did. So what did the other members do? They all mooned them. Now, what would these people think if they knew they were being mooned by some of the biggest musicians in the world? They'd say, wow, this is a story we can tell our grandkids. And that's how they're just having fun, guys. And that's what this story talks about, is that mooning, a really important episode in the career of BTS, loved by fans worldwide. Now, the 17th song on the album is Respect. And what they're talking about is not only the respect that we were taught to give to our parents, grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, second cousins, first cousins, third cousins, all kinds of cousins. I mean, I have 400 or 500 cousins. I give them all respect. And in Spanish, they say respeto, respect. Number 18 is We Are Bulletproof, the Eternal. And what they're talking about is not what you think. You might think, well, they're saying that they're so good, that they're so well loved, that they're one of the most successful acts in music, in recorded music history, that they're bulletproof, that they're indestructible, that they're almost touching the sky with their success. They have all that. But really, you have to think back, and this is where my training as a lyrics expert comes to the fore. Because you have to think about the theme of this album, which is the map of the soul. So when they say in number 18 track, We Are Bulletproof, what they're saying is their inner soul, their inner personality, their inner character is so well defined, and they know themselves so well that they are bulletproof. They are not subject to the whims of the world. They are going to stay on the path of the righteous no matter what. And that is not only their commitment to excellence, their commitment to making millions of dollars so that they can buy really fast cars. It's their commitment to staying true to themselves. And that's what that song is all about. Number 19, outro ego. Outro ego. Outro ego. Lego my ego. Outro ego. So here are the lyrics of Outro Ego. It goes, outro ego, Lego my ego, Lego my ego. And they tend to rhyme, and that's the rhyme scheme they stick with for the entire song. So what are they trying to say? Why is it so repetitive like that? Why don't they rhyme other words like rain or Spain or sidewalk and let me talk? Okay, add a little variety. Every line ends in that O sound. It gets, you would think, well, I thought these guys were the best. They don't know any other rhymes. They don't know any other words, any other rhyme schemes, any other triplets or doublets or quadruplets that they can put in there. But guys, now you're talking about an artistic decision. And when you have the level of skill and the performance ability of BTS, you have to give them a little more room. And the burden is on you. Okay, you don't go into a Picasso painting and go, why did he do that? That's stupid. No, he's Picasso. But these are artists, guys. These are performing artists. These are musicians. And so by using a certain rhyme scheme, they are making a statement. So you have to look beyond the actual words or lyrics to see how the structure of the song is communicating. When you look at a great painting, it's not just the actual dynamics of the scene that you can see visually with your eye. It's what are the triads? What are the angles? How are they leading your eye through the painting? And that's what you have to think about on a song like this where the rhyme schemes are so repetitive. What are they trying to say? What's the secret message? And that's why it's such a great track. And finally, the last song of the album is On. Now this is actually not the last song. It's a bonus song, guys. It's On, and features Sia, another monster talent. And when you are BTS, all you have to do is make a phone call. You don't even have to make a phone call to get almost any other huge star to be with you on a track, to join you on a track. You just text. When they look down at their phone and it says BTS, and they're like, hey Sia, how you doing? This is BTS. Can you join us on a track for our new album? Well guys, you drop the pot of noodles that you were cooking and you answer that text, yes. And next thing you know, you're on a bonus track of one of the biggest musical performing groups in the world. Well guys, that's it. It's Map of the Soul 7, and what a monumental work by such an important artist. I hope that helps you enjoy it even more. Come on back, we've got so much more to talk about, and I'll see you then.